and I'm very glad I did.
Yes.
That's a hike.
Where
I
did
had
you
a
go in
great time.
Pennsylvania?
In Pennsylvania, I went to a place called Selma Mansion, and I can't remember the name of the town right now. It escapes me, but I will remember it.
I know where it is. I just can't think of where it is either. But I'm glad you flew because the turnpike there will kill you.
Oh, I'm very glad I flew. It was fun. It was my first con. It was interesting. I met a lot of really cool people, and had a great time. And then I was invited to Massachusetts, to be a part of a ghost tour that was happening at a really cool place called the Major John Bradford House. It is a beautiful house. It's old, very old. The oldest house I've ever been to, oldest structure I've ever been to. And Massachusetts is an amazing place. It's a beautiful state. And it was a great experience. I met some wonderful people who are friends and will be for the rest of my life. So it was a great trip. So I've done a little bit of traveling this year, flown for the first time. So that was a big thing. And it was a lot of fun. I actually enjoy flying. And now I'm just ready to go fly everywhere. So it was a lot of fun, though. I've had a good time this year. It's been an interesting year. Ups and downs, but an interesting year, though.
Well, luckily the plane went up and down when it was supposed to.
It did. Although the flight into Logan from Atlanta was a little hairy. It was right on the tail of the hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we actually flew through the very back part of it going into Logan. And it was a bumpy ride. It was very bumpy. And about 5 minutes or so into the bumpy, people started pulling out their bags. Oh. And I mean, I have never seen so many people vomiting in my life. It was terrible. It was absolutely awful. I felt fine, but no, a lot of people did not feel fine, and people were very upset. I think they were afraid that it was, their time was up. That plane was rocking. It was, so it was an interesting experience, and there were a lot of sick people. So it was fun. I mean, it was interesting, but it definitely didn't deter me. I'm not deterred. It didn't scare me or bother me. I felt safe the whole time. So
yeah, I've been on a plane that caught fire, and so yeah, and
that's interesting. That's a curveball.
Yeah, I called Ron. I was on my way to the airport, and I called Ron, and I was having a panic attack on the way to the airport, and I don't usually have panic attacks. And I call him, I go, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I want you to know I love you.
Oh, no. And that's terrible.
Yeah, so I finally get on the ground, and I'm going to get my bag, and I go, well, Ron, I know why I had a panic attack. He goes, why? I said, well, our plane caught on fire, and they had to come out with they had to tow us in after the fire truck put us out to drag us in. And so at least I knew why. When I landed, I knew why. But I was the one that actually was looking out the window and saw it on fire, and I called the stewardess over, and I was just going, kind of motioning her and pointed because I didn't want to upset anybody.
Right.
But by this time, they already knew the plane was on fire, and they were already gotten us moved up in rotation so we could land. And they were getting ready to announce it by the time I saw it, they already knew. But the people on the plane didn't know anything until they announced it. So
that is scary.
But luckily, we were just like 5 minutes from landing. But
that's
funny as hell. Funny and scary. I mean, it was funny that I had this panic attack.
Yeah.
But the thing is I still got on the plane.
Oh man, yeah. Wow.
So
that's scary.
If any of you guys have any questions, you need to get those out here now, because we've only got a little bit of time. We also have a 2-minute break in here as well. So you guys need to get those questions out here as soon as you can. So, Cindy, what do you have coming up?
I am sort of it's downtime for the rest of the year. I do have a few more radio shows coming up, but other than that, we're kind of winding down for this year. So nothing else to speak of at this point.
What is your Twitter handle?
Oh man. That's a
hard question, huh?
You got me. I'll have to get back to you on that one. I don't tweet as much as I should, I suppose. So
neither do I.
I think it's Cindy Haunted, honestly.
Okay.
I believe that's what it is. I'm like 80% sure that's what it is.
So check that out.
Yeah.
Chuck Banks says he's going to be following you, or Charles Anthony is what he'll be following you as. He is a great medium. I think that he'd be a good guy to have in your back pocket.
Yes, absolutely.
And do you have another book in you?
I do have another book in me. It's in there. It's brewing. Can't say that I'm looking forward to, completely looking forward to getting it out of me. But yeah, I do have another book in me. I actually was going to start off from where the other one left off. So, we are looking at a part 2. I've just got to mentally prepare myself and get into a place where I'm ready to commit to it and get it all down. I don't think it's going to take as long as it did to write the first one, because I'm wanting to keep my focus and get it all out instead of taking such massive breaks. When I wrote the first book, there were times when it just was a little bit too intense, and I just had to put it down and walk away. And at one point, I did put it down, and I walked away for a year and just could not finish it. Could not pick it up. It sat there on the computer, and I just couldn't finish it. And then I just kind of got pushed. Someone pushed me in that direction, said, you got to finish. So I did. But we won't do that with the second one. I want to get it all out at one time and not wait so long. So, yeah, there's definitely a second book. And we don't know, what it'll be called yet. I know what it's going to be about, but I don't want to reveal too much quite yet. So, but do be ready for it. Be looking for it. And I may end up self-publishing this time. I'm not sure yet, but I'll keep everybody updated on that, actually.
Perfect. So when you do, let me know, and I'll make sure that I share that with everyone and get that out there for you. So
absolutely. I appreciate that too. Thank you.
Well, Chuck can't find you, so you can find him on Twitter. So all of you guys out there listening, you can find Charles Anthony on Twitter at ParaXD the show on Twitter. So there you go. Go follow Chuck. You'll learn a lot. So there you go. We'll just advertise for everybody tonight.
Okay. And I do have my Twitter handle. It is CIN Sauer Haunting. So it's CINSAUER Haunting. All one. So that is my Twitter handle.
I just sent that out there, so
awesome.
They got it. So I was trying to send it to you, and I just couldn't get it sent, so it didn't matter. So there you go. You got some new followers tonight.
Awesome. Thank you.
But
so thank you guys for following too. Thank you guys for following. Thank you for taking an interest, and thank you for talking about it. For talking about the subject and just listening to the story. I think it will go a long way. I think that the more people that know about this, the more that we can maybe try to change what people's opinions and what their perceptions are of this whole situation and the whole subject. So I do want to say thank you for that.
Yeah, I think people need to know that demons do exist, not Zach Bagan's demons, but demons exist, and that you can be possessed, and that it's serious. It's not to be made fun of. And we were watching live PD. We tape it. We don't watch it live. We saw this man on there, and I told Ron, I mean, I've watched these people hundreds of times, people on drugs and all the other stuff. This is the first time I saw somebody, I told him, I go, that person's possessed. I have never said that about anybody on there before. I've said they're high, I said they're on something, whatever. This guy was possessed.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I've seen it. Mm-hmm.
And, the look at this guy had was scary. It reminds you of the look of, like, when you go to some of these prisons to investigate and they show you the people that they've put to death.
Yes.
Like, you see these people and they show you the picture of what they look like when they took them in, and then before they executed them, they look totally different. In fact, that was another conversation that was going on in one of the chat rooms, as well as what you were saying, that you look different when you were possessed.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that people need to understand, is that you can see it.
You can see it.
And there's a whole other conversation that you can hear in the background when they're talking, that you're not really hearing what they're saying. You're hearing something else at the same time. So it's like having a live EVP. You I would say hear something, but you hear something else in the background at the same time while they're talking. And like I said, I was looking at this guy, and that's the first thing I thought was, oh my God, this guy's possessed.
Uh-huh.
And I've never ever said that before. And it was just amazing. But you know what, guys? We got another break coming up here. So go take this last break. Come back with any questions you got, but they're going to have to be quick, because we sign off here at 9:00. So you're listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experienced Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.